Okay, geometry, I am on page 603. We're going to start with example 4. Now, example 4 has 3 parts, A, B, and C. We're only going to do part A, which is this circle here, and it doesn't look very good on my paper. But the radius is 5, and then this angle inside, you can see it much clearer in your book, is 50 degrees. And it says find the length of the red arc. So how far is it on this red arc? Now remember, this is part of a circle, right? So it's curved. This is curved. It's not a straight line. It's curved. So we have a formula to find the arc length, and it should look relatively similar to something you've seen before. A couple chapters ago, we worked on the arc measure, right? And we had a formula that looked like this. This is arc length, and it's a little different. All right, so remember, length is a distance, right? So this answer will be something like centimeters, or because I think this is 5 centimeters here. So this will be in centimeters. Arcs are measured in degrees, but the length of arcs is always like centimeters, inches, feet, something like that, right? Because length is distance. So this is a proportion, right? We have a fraction equals a fraction. All we're going to do is plug things in, and then we're going to let our calculator do all the heavy lifting for us. So, arc length. That's this red arc. Do we know how far it is? No. If we don't know, let's just use an x. So I'm going to say x over 2 times pi times r. So I have 2 pi. What's my r? My radius is 5. Equals. Now the central angle, okay, is the angle that's inside. So this angle right here is 50. So we're going to say 50 over, and then we'll always use 360 here because that's how many degrees the circle is. So this is a great time to get your calculator out or your phone or whatever you're using, because all we're going to do is a couple of multiplications. We're going to times all of these numbers together. So 50 times 5 times pi times 2. Remember, if you don't have a pi button, you can use 3.14. 50 times 5 times pi times 2. Click enter, and then go ahead and divide by 360. Okay, so when you times 50 times 5 times pi times 2, you should get about 1,570. We'll divide that, like we said, by 360, which our answer for x then is, what is that? If we divide that by, it should, what does it say? About 4.36-ish. Remember, this is all rounded, so you could be slightly off, higher or lower based on if you use 3.14 or if you use the actual pi button. Okay, so I'm not too worried about that as long as you're close. Okay, let's look at the bottom here. Let's look at number 6 at the very bottom of 603. This is a little different because this arc is humongous. Look how big this red arc is, right? So let's be careful here, okay? Do you see how this angle from here to here, this is 180 degrees, which means it is a line, right? It's going through the circle, which means it's a diameter. So that means our central angle on this side is also 180. Remember that circle is equal 360. So if you say 360 minus 180, it'll give you 180 for the angle that we want, right? We want this angle because it matches with this red circle. All right, so let's go ahead and plug things in here. Arc length. Do we know how far it is from here to here? No. So we'll use an x, right? We'll say x over. You'll always use x for arc length because that's what we're trying to find, okay? Over 2 times pi. What's our radius? Looks like it's 4. Right? It looks like it's 4. Okay, equals central angle. That's what we just talked about. The angle we're using is 180. Remember, we're not using the top 180, the one that's in black up here, because that goes to this arc. It just happens to be the same. We want the red one, which is down here. Okay, so 180 over 360. All right, guys, let's just use our calculators now to times. Okay, we're going to say 180 times 4 times 2 times 3.14 for pi, and that gave me about 4,521-ish. All right, so this times this times this times this is about 4,521.6. We then divide by 360, which should give us our answer, which is x equals, my book has about 12.6-ish. Again, I say ish because if you use 3.14 or something similar, it will be different if you use the pi button. Okay, so I'm not too terribly worried how you round this. All right, guys, if you have any questions, go ahead and drop your comments below. Otherwise, I want you to try a couple problems for me. Go ahead and stay on page 603. And at the very bottom here, I want you to do, we just did 6. I want you to try 5 and 7, please. Okay? Try 5 and 7 on 603. Good luck.